To remain updated with the latest business news, click on the bell icon.
Well, hello and a very warm welcome to Business Today TV. I am Chetan Bhutani. Today, the iconic brand Yezdi motorcycles has officially arrived into the country. I am joined by Anupam Thareja, the man behind getting Jawa and, of course, the Yezdi into the country. I'm joined by Mr. Anupam Thareja, co-founder, Classic Legends. Well, thank you, Anupam, and many congratulations for the big launch. Tell us, how will you get the Yezdi charm back in today's time, in the time when you have a lot of competition in the market? So how will the Yezdi charm get back to its real owners who have been using Yezdi for a very long time?
Thank you, Chetan. Thank you for having me here. Awkward question hai thoda, because you have to bring back something which had gone. Yezdi has always been in the heart and mind of the Indian consumer, the Indian motorcycle lover. So, in fact, when me and Anand were sitting and talking one day, we had to first establish, the most expensive real estate in the world is a human mind. We very quickly realized that Yezdi is imprinted there, Jawa is imprinted there. Also, look at the timeline. Jawa was before Yezdi. It went in 70s, and then Yezdi came and stayed for much longer time, till late 90s. So if we could establish Jawa first, with so much love and so much passion, then Yezdi was, of course, the logical next step, and hopefully easier, because it was, as I said, there longer and later, and sold probably 10x or 12x more than the Jawas. So yes, Yezdi is a mindset. Yezdi is an attitude. Yezdi talks about the personality of the biker. And I'm privileged to be able to bring this brand back.
Yezdi was the indigenization of the Java brand, built to a more ruggedness. Back in the day, Yezdi had its own charm, and it literally had no competition when it came to rallying and for traveling in the hills, or probably for adventure sports. Today, you have a whole lot of competition, especially with the Enfield, Benelli, Honda, other brands. So what would make it stand apart? Do you think the old customer base, the old mind of the people, the attachment towards the Yezdi, what do you think would work?
Firstly, my competition will not like it if you say there was no competition back then. I think there was enough competition back then, and still Yezdi was a heart winner. So let me give you a data. Even for Java, which is a slightly older brand than Yezdi, almost 85-90% of my customers are below the age of 30. So contrary to expectations, the people who know Java, love it, will buy it, but it's actually the youth. See, youth is a very large population in our country. But within that large population, there is a exposed, there is a mature youth. There is a youth which has achieved something. There is a youth which wants to experience. There is a youth which is aware. So the new macho is actually more aware, more stories, slightly bit of maturity, achiever, responsible. So that's my target, and it's large enough for me, right? So I think this bike is going to cater to that attitude of Yezdi. Okay. In terms of competition, I will not give you a standard answer that I don't talk about my competition. I'll give you it in a slightly different way. I think the mid-market segment, Chetan, is going to grow, right? Okay. We have a huge entry-level segment which has to slowly mature towards the mid-market segment. To my mind, one, the segment will grow. Two, the segment has been reasonably generic as of now. There are segments within the segments which were not explored. And we looked at those segments. First, we had to see whether there are those segments. Are there segments in that market? The answer was yes. Is there a market in that segment? Is that what we had to explore? That's why we are taking out categories to expand that segment. So to my mind, entry of Yezdi will expand the mid-market segment. We will create a few segments and own a few segments. That's why if you see our Java, we had a classic, which was a road to the past. We had a 42, which was an edgy bike ahead of it. And then we had a crazy bobber, right, which was a new market that was created in the country. Similarly, with Yezdi, we are creating three subsegments. We are creating a roadster segment, we're creating an adventure segment, and we're creating a scrambler segment. So I am very confident that we will not only expand the market, but we will also be able to establish a few new segments and grow them.
Well, Anupam, what I could make sense from your answer is the fact that was it a calculated decision to launch all the three models at the same time and not probably build up some excitement towards the mid of the year, towards the end of the year, and launch all three? Because of course there are lessons that you must have learned from Java's launch as well. So is that a lesson that you learned to immediately launch the products and all the three at the same time?
I think that's a great question, Chetan. So firstly, when we started this company, we knew we had Yezdi, we had Java, and we had BSA. So they were all designed together or imagined together. The product portfolio was imagined. We did not imagine Java in isolation, Yezdi in isolation. So day one, I knew what the Javas will look like and Yezdis will look like. And the development started together, not only for these brands, but also for platforms, engine platforms, electric, everything together. Now, so why three? Because we are ready with the three. And two, I don't know what is going to happen with this pandemic. And we were ready with the bike and we had to create those segments. Can we do it sequentially to create excitement? But I think we are not a very fad kind of a brand. We're a very authentic, honest brand. These are the three bikes. This is the segment. This is how they sit together. So to my consumer, now we have a complete product portfolio from which they can choose from, depending on their riding style, their attitude, their palate, what kind of riding experience do they want to, where do they want to ride. So this completes my range, if you may. But yeah, these are interesting marketing questions and probably there is not a right answer. So we launched 3 Javas, we launched 3 Yezdis, and that's how we go, completing the direction. So you can call this a Road King series.
Right.
So today you know what we have. In a classic brand, Chetan, you don't have to do a 2023 model, 2024 model.
Right.
This is the range. Now you see it. Now we'll slowly develop lifestyle alongside. Right. So we're a lifestyle brand. We're actually not a product. We are a lifestyle. So we will develop this lifestyle accordingly.
Well, I think you're right because, Yezdi and Java are always meant to coexist and probably not fragmented pieces. Well, I'll talk about the prices. The Scrambler is about 2 lakhs rupees, Roadster about 1.98 and Adventure about 2.09. What's the rationale behind the pricing? And I see there's not much of a difference between the 3 variants of the motorcycle. Any particular reasoning behind this low range of prices? And secondly, do you think that with respect to your competition, people would be going ahead with Yezdis?
I hope so. I am reasonably sure they will. As I said, we have created very excitement segments. And if you look at it, pricing, also there is a Java, then there is a crossover Roadster, which transits between Java and Yezdi prices, and then there is a Scrambler, and then the Adventure. So now the range is complete. This is a different engine. It's a more powerful engine. It's a bigger engine. So the pricing had to be slightly higher than Java. I think there is a misnomer that the highest price bike is your flagship. I don't think. I think my flagship is the Java, which established not only Java Yezdi culture, but it also established classic legends. It also established my distribution network. It stabilized my supply chain, stabilized how I want to market this whole range. And then we slowly progress and sequentially launch this product. So the price range is to be making sure that the Indian consumer, who's always compromised, either the scramblers available are too expensive or they are not real scramblers, but there are mix and match or slight modifications on a regular bike to call it a scrambler or an adventure. Since we put in complete tech, the engine, the mating of the frame, the bike, the colors, the technology is true to that category. Right? So we have given you a full price range to transit and choose what you want.
Absolutely. And of course, the Java and the Yezdi dealerships would be the same under the same brand and the umbrella?
Absolutely. So if you go and see a Java dealership, if you see the board, it was always a long gray board with Java on one end. Anybody could have figured out that there is space for another brand or other brands to be put.
That's a very thoughtful thinking, by the way.
Correct. So day one, we knew when Yezdi happens, where will it stand, what collateral will change inside, what collateral will change outside. And remember, our dealerships have invested in us. And unfortunately, COVID happened. So now when we are coming out with a brand which is probably going to sell much larger numbers, and when it sells the numbers, it will also pull the Java range up. How can I have another dealership? These are a part of our family who trusted us and invested in us. So we need to make sure they make a lot of money and the commonality of the network.
Anupam, what is the strength of the dealership network right now and the expansion plans?
So when we started Java, Chetan, we had 100. We were a new company, we were a startup, right? So we started with 100 dealerships, which was a record in itself. In 100 days after announcing our bike, we launched 100 dealerships. And we established that, we improved our parts availability, service availability, and then we went wide. So while COVID was happening and we were readying ourselves with Yezdi, we were also readying ourselves with a larger distribution network, and the answer is we had 300 of them. So now Yezdi will start with 300. And they'll keep on expanding. Hopefully, in a year we'll have 500 of them.
And what are the production capabilities as of now? And is there any subsequent plan to increase that?
So our factory has a large capacity. Our factory capacity is 500 million. We have to ramp up the capacity at our supplier end, which is what we've been doing. We struggled with our supplier capacity because we were a single source supplier company. During this pandemic, we actually increased the number of sources per parts. We also build in inventory of critical parts, which are in short supply, like semiconductors. There were logistical problems. So we have corrected all that. And even though the pandemic is still going on, I think we are much better prepared for this. And I personally think India is wanting to go out and, as my friend Baman says, Zindagi na milegi dobara on Yezdi, right?
Absolutely. So to my last question now. How's the promoter backing? What is the reaction of Mr. Mahindra when you told him, yes, the product is ready and we are gearing up for launch? How was the reaction, Mr. Mahindra, and how's the promoter backing coming along?
You should ask him. He's actually, at heart, he's a very creative and a fun-loving person.
Yes.
He's always created brands. Mahindra in SUV is a legend. So I think he's more excited than I am, to be honest. And he's been the big philosopher behind us, and Baman is a writer, right? So we are three amigos, as we call ourselves. We call ourselves Zen, Legacy, and the Brat. And I don't need to tell you who is what. But yes, Anand is reasonably excited. In fact, very excited. And I hope to make sure that you speak to him and you get his excitement soon.
I'll be great. It'll be an honor to speak to Mr. Mahindra. Well, what after Yezdi? Any other brands that are in the pipeline that we can look out for?
Chetan, we about a month and a half back, we launched BSA in UK. So from an umbrella brand, these are the three brands. We have a hands full. BSA is for our global markets, the Western markets. Jawa is for the Eastern markets. And yes, these are mainstay in India. It's not that they will not be exported. Everyone will be available in all the markets. But these are the primary markets for them. So I need to make my geographical spread. So as of now, this is the range, the Jawa range of 3 bikes, the Road King series of 3 bikes of Yezdi, and the BSA range for the Western world.
And how much is the funding right now that you've got recently? Any more fundraising plans from the parent company?
So, we already had a factory, which has got a capacity. So thankfully, we don't have to invest in that. So the whole CapEx, which is coming completely from the promoters, the three of us, so Anand, Fai, and Baman, we have funded this full project. We have also funded an electric project in UK.
Any approximate amount that you could tell us?
So we have about 700 crores, 500 crores of equity has got it, and 200 crores of short-term working capital. And we are planning to spend much more on the electric and the new platforms that are coming in play.
Okay. Well, Anupam, thank you so much for joining us today. All the best, and may the Yezdi live on and create more memories in our times as well, not even our fathers, but us also. We could probably relive that moments again. And good luck to you and the entire team. Thank you so much for joining.
For your progeny, even for your kids, it will create a legacy. So thank you so much for having me here.
If you like the video, do like, comment, share and subscribe.